Leo kwa money market fund updates and reviews, mambo ni matatu. I have some news about Sanlam na hii ni kitu ita affect watu wa Sanlam money market fund. Then pia niko na complaint, mambo yanachemka huko CIC. So please stay put, and last but not least, I'll tell you what's behind the falling interest rates. This is your money market fund weekly show, and as usual we get started looking at the treasury bills. And as you can see over here, the 364 days option, or rather 1 year option in simplicity, stood at 10.59%, while the 6 months option was at 9.41%, and the 3 months ikasimama at 8.96%. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the mirror that you look into to guide the expectations for returns ya money markets. And for my smart investors out there, the goal is to fatten the cow and not obsessing about the return figures. We will shortly see how this reflects on the money market funds, and therefore moving to the United States dollar money market funds, where the drop slowed down big time as shown by the fewer reds in the chart. As you can see, only 4 companies had a slight decline as shown in red, and these are the 4 top companies who again for the second week in a row did not change their positions in the chart. 4 companies had a slight increase indicated in green, while 3 companies maintained their last week's results. 9 companies in overall are delivering above 5% returns, which is very impressive for the dollar money market fund. NABO and KCB wakafunga below 5% results and also held their last 2 positions in our charts. And when we look at the fixed income funds, there are 5 reds, meaning slight drops from last week's results, and that was recorded by Kuza, Etica, Madison, Britam, and the COP Bond Fund. And we had 3 greens, which means that they recorded a slight increase, which you can see that was Zimele, Nabo, and Orient. NCBA maintained to the last position. Oh, and there's a new lie being used by companies and their agents out here when they are selling you their products. You will hear things like, our company is at the bottom, but it is stable and safe. My friend, being older in this space does not mean that you are safer than the other. This is a space guided by parameters and strict guidelines to protect you as an investor. Another thing, the financials are coming out over the few weeks ahead, and the Q4 report your collective investment schemes as well. Watch out for these 2 things, because these are what speak whether a company is growing or not. What will drive the future is growth, good service, and competitiveness. Have you ever seen a 40-year-old bragging while telling the 20-year-old young boy that I am better than you? I have this, I have that. Anyone with a clear head will tell the older man, oh please take it easy and either compare with your mates, or at least wait 20 years more for this guy to get to 40. Then we can compare how 40 looks like on both. Sindio, no one should defend mediocrity using that lie. Sorry, I digressed kidogo, but for you to get the lesson so that usikwe confused out here. Well. The fixed income funds, please make sure that you have one to diversify, and at the same time it will offer you an alternative. All the helpful links to open these accounts are going to be in the description below or on the bio. And moving over to the money market fund in the Kenyan shillings, the average dropped slightly from 0.62 to 12.48%. That shows that the gravity is still pulling the interest rates kwenda tu chini hivi tu. And perhaps to answer those that keep wondering why their companies' rates are dropping every other day, unauliza tu mbona yetu inaanguka? The answer is very simple and straightforward. If you've been working with me from the last time tulikuwa tuna post ma rates zilikuwa ziko juju, every company is dropping. Of course, for those dropping faster than the others means that they are growing bigger and bigger by the day, or they are receiving more inflow in terms of money deposited by their clients, or new clients joining aboard very fast. Because there's this thing that you need to know about the money market funds, which is that it reflects the interests of the places that the money is invested. Nimeongea polepole unielewe. And one such place is the treasury bills that we have already looked at. And remember that somewhere last year they were at 17% plus, but now we are talking about possibilities of going below 10%. So how this balances out is that some of the money is invested in those high earning vehicles which were acquired last year. Yes, that are yet to mature. And on the other side, any new money that is coming in right now automatically goes to the 9%, the 10%, or even below 9% vehicles that are in the market currently. In fact, the more money a company is receiving right now, the faster its rate of return in a drop. And a good example to help you understand even better is ZD Money Market Fund, who joined the rest of the gang when there were no high return, no 16, 15% what, those things. So they don't have leverage that can give them higher return rates. Technically, everything is going to go into the low return rates, and the rest kitambo will balance out at the averages so that zikuwe ziko hapo the same place. It's going to take some time. So this is not just your company dropping, every other company is dropping as well. But pia tusitete mediocrity and those sleeping on their job. Let every company pull up their socks and become competitive enough with good service. Is that too much to ask? Like, seriously? So before I tell you about CIC and Sanlam story, let's look at this chart to malizie. As you can see, there is a good mix of red and greens. This week, only 4 companies will register above 14% returns. And while at it, as I've already mentioned up there, if a company is not receiving good inflow right now, then they are likely going to be stuck around the same percentage with no significant drops or increases. Utaona wako tu kwa gray. Sasa hii itakusaidia kujua ni which companies are likely hawaku get more deposits this week and which one hardly got any, nama ni gani zilipata more. Well, you can also note that only 8 out of the entire list hapa recorded above 13% and majority were at 12 and 11%. Genjis, although wamekuwa na fair share of challenges, they are still at top 10. In fact, they grew from position 8 to position 5, and the same thing happened to the Mali Money Market Fund, which also recorded a slight increase from what they had posted last week. ZD dropped further, recording a slight drop from 11.52 to 11.27%, and also subsequently dropped from position 23 to 24. Let us see how things will go next week. KCB grew a little bit, while Mayfair and Equity maintain their single digit returns, and also wakashikilia zile positions za mwisho kwa chart. Be it as it may, the averages are still looking good and you can take advantage and make progress in your accumulation journey. Fatten the cow, and I say again, fatten the cow. What you have already accumulated, you can now be thinking about, where can I consider putting some of this? Where can I diversify? But until you get to that point, please keep the main thing. Accumulate. That's what we call fattening the cow right here. So as we wind up, I promise to tell you about some updates on 2 companies. One is Sanlam, and for a long time they have been charging one of the lowest management fees, and that was at 1.5%. But then if you are already a client, then you have already seen this notification that they'll be no longer offering 1.5, but they are increasing it to 2%. This has mostly been the thing that people tell companies, people talk about companies out there, ours has the lowest management fees, that one. So probably someone realized that it is no longer sustainable considering hali ya uchumi wa saizi. So if you are yet to hear of this, now you know, and you won't be surprised and ask what really happened while you were away. Last but not least, if you are keen, over the last couple of days, then you will have noticed that CIC Pia, they did an update of their mobile app and they pushed it well, and I guess this follows the need for convenience and simplicity, but my inbox was flooded by concerns of clients stuck simply because they couldn't maybe like transact because they were not getting OTP. And therefore I decided to put this one right here so that if there's someone out there that already figured out how to fix that, Ama can confirm whether this issue has been sorted, atuambie in the comment section so that kila mtu achangamke. Then there's this something that I'm yet to understand very clearly, that most of these smaller fund managers out here are running a more efficient online presence, ama mobile app platforms, which are making or changing the game for so many people in terms of reliability. Yet most of these well-financed big oldies who have been in the game for decades, is it really that it complicated to come up with a simple portal or a mobile app that can make the experience better for your clients? Or is it that companies do not want to change to, let's say, these modern day times? Yeah, is there someone that has an answer to advise us, by the way? And if there is a company frustrating you and giving you a very horrible experience out there, please share them below. Maybe wataamka ama watarealize at least it's no longer business as usual. Please don't miss next week's update because itakuwa even juicier. Thank you so much for watching.